Inspire with Nendrix, the foundation.
Come into this room. What are you doing? Probably nothing much. You reading a book? Okay. Put a bookmark in it. I got a 5-minute quickie for you. Really, really quick. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to come up in here. Come hang out with us. You in here? Okay, cool. Dr. Danielle Hairston, Your Best Life, coming back to you with a quick 5-minute quickie. Quick quickie. Anyway, so yes, we are on Zoom every day, most of us. And Zoom is like really making some good money because a lot of companies who had not used it before had to opt for it. And maybe not Zoom, maybe it was other platforms, but yeah, they're making some good money now. One of the things that they're failing to do is to remind you to step away from that Zoom for a minute. I had a staff member who had told me that she felt nauseous. She was feeling really sick and dizzy and literally had to step away from her video when she was having a meeting because it was just too much. It was overwhelming. Yes, we use Zoom a lot. My staff is distributed all over the state, and so for the most part, that's how we communicate. We communicate via that particular platform. Again, there's other platforms available to you to have your meetings. You know, we have Google. I think it's Google Teams. You know, Google Hangouts, or was it Microsoft Teams? Yeah, Microsoft Teams, Google Hangout, Skype for business. Now Facebook has, a platform in their messenger for up to 50 people to meet, all kinds of stuff. But what they're not telling you is how to take care of your visual health, dealing with being on Zoom all day long. I'm no expert, but what I found is that it's easier for me to kind of deal with these Zooms when I'm not staring in the camera. If I Every other meeting, I just put my video on or my cut my video off if I am not facilitating. If I'm facilitating, then the video is on. But if I'm not facilitating, at least every other meeting, I cut my video off and I just listen. I step away and I listen. That helps me a lot. If you are seeing impaired like I am, you know, you already have layers of issues. Another thing that you can do is get a screen protector that will help kind of, with staring inside, staring at the screen for a long period of time. Another thing that I do, which drives my kids crazy, is that I reduce the brightness from my screen. It just helps me way better, when I'm actually, looking in the screen. It just helps my eyes. I don't like the brightness of it, but my tip for you regarding being able to maintain a long period of time, looking at these videos and having these meetings via Zoom is that you step away from it for a little bit. You only use your video if only if you are actually facilitating and if it's required of you. From your boss that you must have your video. If and only if those are the cases, I would say don't have your video on and don't stare at the camera for a long period of time. You can just kind of step away from it a little bit. And quite frankly, if you're on the other side of the room, you can actually hear what people are saying. So you don't really have to worry about like being fully, alert visually during that time. So that's my quick tip for you regarding making sure that you take care of your health while doing your zooming thingy. I don't know if you have tips, if you've tried something that will help you, but for me, that is the best thing to do. Unless you are actually facilitating the conversation, you do not necessarily need to have your camera on and staring at the monitor. Unless your leadership is requiring you to have your video on, put it on, but step away from it. Push back from the camera. I'm up on the camera like this, like I'm really close, but you can actually step back and kind of push it far enough away so that it won't impact you. Push it all the way. They can still see you, but you don't need to be up on the screen. So I think that will help you a little bit. If you're facilitating, it's understandable to kind of stand up, stretch, and kind of move around while you're facilitating. Do what you have to do so that it won't, kind of make you a little dizzy and, impair your vision even more, especially if you're like me and you need glasses in the first place. So if it's not required, don't worry about putting your video on. All right? All right. Go back to Zooming or Zumba in or cooking or whatever you were doing. This was my 5-minute quickie. Go out in the community and embrace someone because they are waiting on you. Live your best life.
My LaCasa boy, this is my residence. My prescription boy, this is my medicine. The world can be sickening, living in house resemblance. Not to mention the media's effort to keep us in the most simplistic state of mind. Lowest age bracket committing the highest rate of crime.